911, where's the emergency?
I have no idea where I'm at. My name is that follows someone that supposedly killed two people in the robbery. Ma'am, I have no idea where I'm at. My phone's on 2% and about to die. I'm at a 7-Eleven. They're about to drive by the house where he supposedly killed these people. Listen to me. My name is... Oh,
okay,
God.
Are you there by yourself now?
I don't want to let you in. I'm scared.
Okay, you didn't answer my question, ma'am.
Police Department, this line is recorded. How may I help you?
Yeah, hi, this is Operator 80 with the Sheriff's Office, Osceola. I just got a 911 cell phone disconnect from a woman who said she didn't know where she was, and then she said she was at a 7-Eleven. For her coordinates, she's at the 7-Eleven off of East 192 and Hickory Tree Road at that corner. And she was,
okay.
She said that her name is, that she was, that someone by the name of took her there, and that they were on their way to a place where they had killed two people. And then she repeated the same thing. Oh, yeah, she repeated the same thing again, and then she disconnected. And then she didn't answer.
Okay, what's the number?
The number is...
Okay. All right, what was her name again? Sorry.
She said her name was...
Is the one who brought her there. And she just kept repeating it?
Yeah,
Did she sound like drunk or anything?
She sounded dramatic, but, you know.
Okay, we will send somebody out there, and then I'll try calling the number.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
On July 10th, 2018, at approximately 1 a.m., police received a 911 call from a distraught female claiming to have information about a possible double homicide. The female claimed to be currently located at a 7-Eleven with their boyfriend. The couple then met with a male named Federico Gondola, a friend they have known since high school. The female claimed Federico called her boyfriend demanding they meet at the 7-Eleven. He then told the couple how he found explicit content on his employer's computer, then attempted to blackmail them. He stated after telling his employers of his intention, the employer then reached for his gun where things would take a fatal turn. He also stated since his employer's wife was present, she too was killed in the process. The anonymous female claimed Federico wanted the couple to help move the body and hide evidence. He also assured them that the security cameras in the house were deactivated days prior. This lead would eventually take police to a residence in Meadow Oak Circle, a house owned by a married couple in their 60s and 70s named Roosevelt and Janet Dixon. Upon arrival, both Roosevelt and Janet were found with fatal gunshot wounds to their head. Medical examiners stated it seemed the bodies have been there for some time now. Crime scene investigators stated it appeared the person responsible must have personally known the Dixons and had access to the house, as no signs of a struggle was found. Investigators also stated it appeared the Dixons were sitting down eating breakfast the time of their murder. The security cameras was turned off, which coincides with the anonymous female caller's alibi. With this newfound evidence, Federico was detained and taken into custody.
So, before we start, I'm just looking at your background. So, this isn't your first time that you've ever talked to the police, correct?
No.
So you know how the system works. We have to read you your Miranda rights to that whole process.
Okay.
Okay? Do you understand Miranda?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to read it anyway. If you have any questions on it, feel free to ask.
Okay.
Okay? Alright, so you said that you kind of had an idea, right, why we're here?
Yeah. The guy called me. He was asking me a lot of questions.
So who's the guy that called you? You said someone called you.
It was a detective. Ortiz, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
And what was your conversation with him?
Just asking me a couple of questions about a guy I know that I provided service for, and that was it.
What did he ask you?
If I was in Florida, if I knew if he had hatred towards somebody or something like that, or if he had any upgoing issues, and who was in charge of the home and things like that.
All right, let's go back a little bit then. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
The beginning of the interrogation, the detective on the right takes an abnormal approach, throwing rapport development by the wayside. The detective realizes his chronological mistake and decides to start over.
Okay. As far as
Where are you from originally?
Panama.
From Panama?
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
Different places. My father was military. I lived in El Paso, Texas on a military base, Georgia, New York, Jersey.
Oh, what part of New York?
Queens.
What part of Jersey?
Alright, so we stayed in, it was West Berlin, and then we stayed in Somerdale.
The detective purposely poses a question he knows the definite answer to. Police will do this 90% of the time in order to see if the suspect will be truthful. A notable moment not keen to many, Queens is one of 5 boroughs that actually create New York City. Within Queens, there is one location similar to what Federico was going to say, Springfield. Somerdale and West Berlin aren't actually places in Queens nor New York City. The detective appears confused for a second, as he probably were expecting a different response.
And you said Queens.
Yeah, Queens for New York.
Okay. Going back to this conversation you had with that detective. Who was this guy he was asking you about?
Mr. Roosevelt.
Mr. Roosevelt?
Yeah.
Who's he?
Guy I provide service for.
Oh, shit. What kind of service? I mean, that's
well, with him, it was always something different. You know, his computer's messed up, or his wife's laptop is, something, or whatever. Really, I would say his microwave, whatever.
How'd you end up meeting him?
Could have been word of mouth. This was a while ago. When I originally first got out here, I was talking to so much people trying to get, things off the ground. It would either have to be a flyer or word of mouth.
So how long have you been working for him?
Off and on. I probably met him when I first came down here too. So I really don't know exactly how much times I've worked for him, but it's been off and on, spread out throughout the years. Yeah.
So the last 3 years you've kind of been going over there and computer work and microwave and.
I helped him out with. I was trying to help him out with the CVS thing, but.
So you heard what happened to him, right?
No.
No?
Everybody keeps telling me about the incident.
What are they telling you?
Ortiz said there was an incident. Have I heard something? I caught that. He said, have you heard of an incident in the last few weeks? And I said, no. And I said, is everything okay, He said he's sorry to tell me that he passed away. And
No, he did. He passed away.
Huh?
No, he did. He passed away.
Yeah, I got that, but the questioning seemed kind of weird, though, because he asked me if I knew of anybody he may have had a problem with.
That's a general question that we
Right.
ask every single person that we talk to who ever associated with someone. So because I wasn't there, what was your answer?
I told him no.
No?
Yeah, I told him no.
Okay. I'm sorry, let me shift this back because I was asking you, that's your girlfriend's house out there, right?
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of cars in that driveway.
3 vehicles.
Whose vehicles are those?
Alright, so her brother is currently staying with her, his wife, and his kids.
Tell tell me a little bit about yourself, man.
Okay. What you want to know?
Your background. Grew up in New York. Went to school in New York, right?
Yeah.
What'd you do after that?
Well, from beginning to end?
You gotta tell me everything, but highlight it.
Well, after school, I pretty much was in a GED program. I ended up getting arrested, you know, and
What?
bank robbery.
Up there in New York or somewhere else?
New York.
Yeah.
I did my time, came home. I started working for a company named Warsaw in Brooklyn. Then I moved to Jersey. I got married in Jersey. Had 2 kids in Jersey. What else? It's just worked out there.
Are your kids still in Jersey? Or are they down here?
They're in Philadelphia.
Oh, they're in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
How old are they now?
11 and 9.
So, why are we here?
I don't know, but I don't like moving.
No. You still don't know?
No.
No? I'm really interested in your relationship with Mr. Roosevelt.
Okay.
I think there was a little more to your relationship with him than what you're telling me.
What do you mean? It was just service calls and that was it, really.
That was it?
Yeah, I mean, he likes to call everybody his friend, you know, friend, but anytime we ever spoke, you know, it was mainly about just service, that's all.
You mean to tell me that in the 3 years you've been working, doing what you do, you can't recall how many times you went to his house?
That's a rough question, man. I really can't.
Was that many?
It had to have been because I really can't. Like I said, when people call, I drop by, you know, if I can make it, I'll make it. If I can't, I'll reschedule. He usually texts me everything, so I probably have a stream of, you know, oh no, but I did switch phones. But
how long have you had this one you got now?
The iPhone, it's an older iPhone. I just used it.
Usually you switch phones.
Yeah, I had a HTC before. But the iPhone, I
dropped it. HTC?
I dropped it. It wasn't responding on the screen, so I had to swap it.
What was this?
I really don't remember that. I'm trying to remember when I got the iPhone.
A year ago?
No.
6 months ago?
A few months back, yeah.
Two months back? Two?
I would say more than 2. I've been using it more than 2 months, definitely.
Okay.
Police will often ask these simple questions to determine whether a suspect is being deceptive or not. Besides Federico switching phones days after the crime took place, logically speaking, if someone visited a location less than 5 times, they would specifically remember only going there a few times. If a person visited a location more than 10 times, they wouldn't be able to accurately recall how many times they visited said location. This subtly correlates to the scenario as no signs of a struggle were evaluated at the crime scene. In other words, the suspect had to have been able to enter and exit the house comfortably without raising any alarms.
But you can tell me while we're here.
Yeah, I'm about to. You should probably already have a clue, because you know him, he's dead, and you're here.
Okay.
Getting the picture? Not yet? No?
Are you involved in any way with that?
No.
No? I think that's what he's trying to ask.
No.
Despite the subtle accusations hinted by detectives, Federico appears to genuinely not understand what the detectives are implying or is pretending to disassociate altogether, leaving detectives to ask him directly of his involvement. It's safe to say, Federico's one-worded response was way too calm for a couple whom he've worked for almost 3 years.
And I'm guessing you know the layout of the house? Because obviously you've been in there.
Yeah, I've been there. It's just really open.
It's an open concept.
Yeah, it's like really open, yeah.
I don't know that family too well,
Mhm.
right? But did he invite you inside and offer you anything when you go there?
Well, when I go there, I'm normally, for service, I'm inside. I don't do outside work at all.
What areas of the house do you get to go to?
Well, I've been in his office. I've been at the dining room table working on his wife's laptop.
Okay.
I've been in his garage.
Okay.
And I've used the restroom there before.
Do you are you able to like see the websites that maybe he's going into that's maybe giving him a virus or something?
Yeah, history.
Have you noticed something like, hey, you shouldn't be going to this website because it gives you viruses? Did you notice any, I guess, irregular stuff that would cause a virus or damage to the computer?
No.
Okay, so it wasn't his history then that was giving him problems?
Honestly, I cannot tell you where he used to get these viruses from. I really don't know where he browsed, but I know that he always would have like a virus issue. And
So when you went into his history, you couldn't see?
well, I didn't go into his history. I tend to not go into people's history.
The detective out of frame once again does a great job wording his questions to dissect information from Federico, but loses the suspect's confession as soon as his partner interjects with a dramatic change in intonation.
So you never seen what the type of websites he used to go on?
No. Can't do it. It's not good for me. I don't need to know. I just, all I need to do is make sure that he's virus free, keep an ad blocker on there, and just educate him on what not to do in case he gets any like notifications or things like that.
I find that funny because I think you kind of have to, you can't avoid not seeing the history. I know the kind of history he had on his computer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you do too.
No. I mean, if you open it, you're going to see like whatever the person's doing at the moment, but like I don't go to the history tab and go searching through your history. Like,
Did he not?
I'm still trying to figure out what's this situation, like what happened to him, and
He's dead.
I understand this. You know, he has said this, but
What else is to say? I mean, he's dead.
Federico has now been told for the second time his former employer that he'd worked for has been murdered. Not once does he ask how does he die.
Just trying to figure out if he had anything in his computer that he may or may not should have, like, you know. And last time I checked, like I said, I'm not a computer genius, but like I know, like I heard that if you go to websites you could get viruses. I also heard that if you like download stuff, there's a potential to get viruses.
Yeah, that's
so
common.
I think we're asking you if there was anything that like I said, we don't know the gentleman like you know him. Did he have anything in his computer that he probably shouldn't have had? I mean, you got to play with both of their computers.
Yeah, as far as should not have, I don't think so. I wouldn't believe so. He didn't seem like he would have something he shouldn't have.
Did you notice his house? If it was modernized, if it was you know, you can control everything on your phone. What do you call them?
Like a smart home?
Yes, exactly.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I've never seen him control anything in the house off his phone.
And nothing was hooked up to his computer?
His computer, hold on. He has a computer, a printer, he has a monitor, he has a cable box, I believe, or a router, and that was it. Only thing hooked up around his computer.
So, home wasn't smart, that you could recall?
No, I never seen him control anything off his phone. That's like you could dim your lights and turn stuff off and on. Yeah, I know what you mean. No, I never seen that before.
At least in his house you didn't see that.
Well, I never see. I mean, you can't really tell until you actually see somebody using it. I never seen him actually use any of those features.
Did you notice anything else around his house, on the outside of his house?
No.
You ever notice the security cameras he had?
Oh yeah, definitely. I thought. I'm thinking you told him.
No, outside. He ever have you work on those?
No.
Detectives inquire further into Federico's access to every electronic equipment he worked on. As reports stated, the 3 surveillance cameras inside and around Roosevelt's house were temporarily disabled the night of the murders. Detectives leave the room for the first time and re-enter with their initial first approach.
Alright, Rico. I'll be straight up with you. Dude, I think you're a really nice guy, you know, and I think you have, it seems like a good sense of humor. Because for us, especially for me, I think it's important in this job for us to have kind of a sense of humor, because you know what we do for a living, right?
Yeah.
Right. Do you remember probably about halfway into our conversation I started asking you about his house and his computer, smart home and stuff like that? So, when you did work for him, you did it on his computer.
Yeah.
I told you that I saw his computer, and I saw what was in that computer. And we're talking about history. I saw his history, and I saw the shit that he was doing.
What was he doing?
He was doing some pretty nasty stuff that, in this, besides homicide, that'd be the second worst thing a person can do. And it was on his computer. And I think you saw that. So, you did work in his house.
Yes.
You saw the monitor. You saw that he had a surveillance system in his house.
Yeah, the monitor right above his computer.
Then you saw the camera system.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you understand, being a computer guy, how this stuff is stored, right? You say,
Yeah.
What do you mean,
Like stored, like set up and stuff?
Set up, memory. So you're familiar with that?
Yeah, everything pretty much has memory. Yeah.
Right.
This is an interesting look into Federico's psychology, as he's been challenged about his verbal reciprocation for the very first time. Humans often agree with the short, soft-spoken words such as right, or yeah, during conversations to allow the opposite person to know they're being reciprocated. But in this case, Federico's non-stop responses with no elaboration or detail is most certainly a peculiarity.
So, you went to fix his computer. I know you saw the child porn on that computer.
Child porn? No. I never seen child porn on his computer.
Really?
Never.
Really? So let me ask you this. Did you ever discuss the stuff he used to do with friends of yours?
I have nothing to do with this.
Okay, let me tell you this. I'm not gonna play all my cards, but check this out. Some of the stuff we find out, I can tell you right now. I know what you were driving. Okay. On the right, there's a 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. I remember I went there one day because my friend, he needed gas. He came down and I gave him some gas money.
What friend was that?
My friend in, what is he at now? Titusville, I think it's called.
Well, no, but what's your boy's name? So he came, he met you at 7-Eleven because what?
He needed some gas. He was he was going through some hard times and he needed gas money to go back and forth to work.
So he drove from Cocoa
Yeah.
to that 7-Eleven so you can give him some gas.
Yeah, he had to go to work the next day. He came with his girlfriend, I believe, and he needed some gas money.
What's the girl's name?
Oh, I don't know his girlfriend at all.
What did you say his last name was?
So I guess a reasonable person would say, my man drove from Cocoa to there, so you can give him some gas.
Yep, and he told me it was only like a 40-minute ride. He just needed some gas. He needed to make sure he got to work.
That's an 80-mile round trip.
Yeah.
To get gas that he's gonna need to get to work.
Yes.
That don't make no sense.
Hey, listen, I'm telling you, he came for gas. I gave him the money. Matter of fact, he actually gassed up right there at that gas station, yeah.
Another noteworthy moment has transpired yet again, giving us another look into Federico's thought process and neurological psychology. To simply put it into perspective, let's take a closer look at the difference between a statement he just claimed to be true and the denial of a direct question regarding the death of his employer.
That don't make no sense.
Hey, listen, I'm telling you, he came for gas. I gave him the money. Matter of fact, he actually gassed up right there at that gas station, yeah.
Are you involved in any way with that?
No.
No? I think that's what he's trying to ask.
No.
Though one seems more genuine than the other, it isn't completely abnormal, as previous cases shows people with mental disorders will often show a lack of empathy or remorse in various situations.
Do you remember what time you gave him gas?
Yeah, it was late.
What's late?
Real late. It could have been midnight, after midnight.
How much
He
you
works.
gave him?
I gave him about 40, 50 bucks.
You don't know how much you gave him?
About 40, 50
Was
bucks.
it cash?
Yes.
But was it out of the kindness of your heart that you called him to offer the gas, or did he call you asking?
Oh, no. I might have contacted him and told him, if you still need gas or something like that, you can come on down. Because he's a late person, he works nights. He gets off around like 11, and yeah.
So you called to offer up gas money?
Honestly, I can't remember the whole situation, but I did meet him there to give him gas.
So you tell me that you gave him gas, you guys bullshitted, he got gas, took off, you went back to the house. You did not go back to the house. I know for a fact you didn't go back to the house. Now listen, Rico, listen to me. You're not here just because we're trying to pin this shit on you. You're here because we know that you did it. Because ultimately, for me, I'm going home at some point today. Right? And chances are that you're not.
Me?
Yeah.
This is not good. I didn't do anything. I did not do anything.
Your phone. You said there was phone calls, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that'll help out a little bit. Did you delete everything, or you still have it?
No, I didn't delete anything.
So the phone calls will probably help you out in this matter then a little bit more.
But here's the problem. I don't know if you use iPhone. Once you get to a certain thing on your recent history, it goes away.
It goes away.
You have to, I don't know how much history, but after a certain, like if you'll notice, if you look at iPhone history, you'll only see like the last few recent days.
Okay. So like you drive that car, I guess, your mom?
Which car?
The one that was rented that you talked about?
Yeah.
Did anybody else drive that car?
Maybe my mother one time.
Does your mom know where Mr. Roosevelt lives at?
No.
Who knows where Mr. Roosevelt lives at besides you?
I know just me, really.
So, you being a driver of that vehicle, you're the only one that knows where Mr. Roosevelt is at. And there's every indication that that vehicle was there. How can you explain that?
I don't know.
Dude, that's going to be defense for everything I don't know. I don't know. Rico, I really don't think you understand this, okay? And I'm telling you, I don't think you understand this, okay? There's a difference of what you're looking at. There's a huge difference between, I'll say it again, premeditation and then something else happening. That's why you're sitting in that chair right now, man.
I hear what you're saying.
Because I think, no, I took back. I know that I could develop premeditation on you.
The detective on the right continues with the same confrontational approach. He references back to premeditated murder as, in the state of Florida, if one is charged with first-degree murder, the charge can vary from life in prison without the possibility of parole to the death sentence. The detective will use this as leverage, though, based off the suspect's verbal communication, it's safe to say Federico doesn't know the ramifications of the accusations before him.
But listen, I'm going to tell you, man, I'll be straight up with you. And I don't owe anything at all, you know. I don't know him, you know. But I know a little bit about him, and I know he's done some stuff too. He's had issues in the past. Now you're saying that he's having issues now. Are you talking about financial, personal, or what?
To me, it kind of looked like he's using drugs right now.
Does he know Mr. Roosevelt?
No, I don't think so.
You know, does he know anything about him?
No, I don't think
Have
so.
you ever talked to him about Mr. Roosevelt?
I don't think so, no.
No, at all, period.
Do not think so.
No? Okay. So, dude, man, let me tell you, I got an arrest warrant for you and charging you with murder.
Me?
Yeah. And guess what? The opportunity was there, my man. The opportunity was there. So, based on all the stuff.
I didn't murder nobody, though. I wouldn't murder nobody. I did not murder. I would not take a life.
How about two?
What?
How about two?
To what?
Two people.
2 lives of innocent-ass, old, law-abiding, God-fearing people.
I would not.
I need you to explain that day a little bit better than...
This is terrible.
You will never forget that day ever. No matter what I say, what we do. That day is going to be imprinted like a timestamp in your brain and in your heart.
July 9th.
Forever. Forever. And you might be confused because it was late, but it's going to be that day, hours before you met up with, so I can refresh your memory even more. That day, you're never going to forget. You know exactly what happened, when it happened. You know more detail than anyone could imagine. You made a decision that day to do something. It's clear and day. Where you messed up was, you didn't track your steps that well.
What steps? What are you talking about?
I already had told you. I want to repeat it, okay? I can repeat it. A, your phone. Alright? Your phone is timestamped for every little thing you do.
Yeah.
You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. That's your phone. Nobody else's phone. The vehicle that you drove. That's timestamped. Only you know where Mr. Roosevelt lives. Camera system. That's timestamped. Which is awesome. Meeting locations, phone calls. I could go on and on, but I'm not going to tell you that. The idea is to get the story from you.
I have no story.
Because it boils down to this. All that he says boils down to one freaking thing that I said already. It boils down to you planned this hard, cold-hearted murder, or your intentions were something else, something went wrong that day, and them two ended up dead.
That's the one I think, but you think the other.
I'm telling you, the way that you're acting, your answers compared to what we've told you, and we've told you more than we normally tell people. We don't have to do that. Everything comes back to the fact that you're a freaking stone freaking cold killer.
No.
And you know who's going to see that, right? You know who's going to ultimately see that? Everybody.
But I'm not. I wouldn't do something like that.
The world.
I wouldn't do something like that. You can't say that.
I just said it. And you know what? I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove it.
I did not do anything like that.
Is there going to be anything in that house that is going to support you or support us?
I don't know what you mean.
What I'm saying is that, is there anything in that house that A, perhaps doesn't belong to you, B, that there's something in that house that you might have used or touched during this incident? I mean, I could keep going. What if there's stuff in your house that belongs to Mr. Roosevelt? Is that possible?
No.
Okay. I guess we have to go baby steps or whatever. I really don't know. We have to go baby steps, but
I can tell you, I'm done going baby steps with you.
I understand.
I am. And you know, ultimately, it's a person's decision. It's an individual decision which way we want to take this. Okay. Unfortunately, you're the one in that position, not me. Okay. And you can sit here and say 1,000,000 times, I don't know, wasn't me, but I can prove it. All right.
Look, I don't mean to be rude, right? But this looks bad. Can I see a lawyer, please?
yeah.
Thank you.
On November 22nd, 2018, Federico was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.